Hello, hello, welcome in. How we doing? How we feeling? Gotta love technology. There we go. Grab that water. Good time to roll out. If you see fit. We've got a split today, which means lower pull, upper push. We got some green zone ESD to finish off the day. But before we get into our warm up, good time to check in on yourself. How we feeling today? Happy Monday. Check that functional state. Did we get good sleep, bad sleep? Did we get very restful and relaxation this weekend? Or were we running around and we're still making up for all the stuff we did this weekend? So, good time to just check it on yourself. Maybe we're super stressed out today and we're going to go a little bit harder to alleviate some stress. Maybe we've been too stressed and we got to take it a little bit easier today. Whichever way you do it, making sure we can adjust our weights as we see fit, so on and so forth. But how are we all feeling today? Welcome in. Hopefully we don't have issues and glitches with Zoom like we have been having. So fingers crossed, hoping for the best. Last week of classes, so we're going to make the most of it. We will get started here in about a minute. Making sure everything's looking good. Yeah, happy Monday. Way to show up, start your week on a nice, good intentions. The weather is changing, and here in Colorado, it's super dry all of the time. So my lips are drying out, my skin is drying out. It means I need a little extra hydration, but not mad at the leaves changing. It's the best time of year. In my opinion, I love a good seasonal change. I'm a big fan of having all 4 seasons as well. So I will say, here in Colorado, we have more mild winters than we did in the Midwest, but we still get the nice hot summers, the nice snowy winters, and I'm a big fan of really switching it up. So let's get started. I had a frog in my throat since I had COVID, so I'm hoping it starts going away soon, but we shall prevail. Welcome in, everybody. Get that watch started. I'm going to do functional strength. You're able to choose whatever. Anything strength focused, I think, is good with your Apple Watch, Fitbit, so on and so forth. You don't have a watch, no big deal. Just a good way to check in on that heart rate. And let's start with just some nice knee hugs. So grabbing that hand. Here we go. Grabbing that knee, hands interlocked, pulling up, standing nice and tall. Just waking up. Hello, glutes. Hello, hamstrings. I've been sitting on you all day and letting you tighten, so now it's time to open them up and give them some love. Only holding for about a 1 to 2 count. I'm going to do about 1 more on each leg here. Beautiful. Let's go into an inchworm. We're going to reach up nice and tall with those hands. Pull those wrists away from those ankles. We're going to roll down, touching our feet. Coach is recovering from a bit of a hamstring injury right now, so I'm not going to be able to fully extend, but working where you can. Walk those hands out to a plank, and then we're going to walk those feet back to our hands, rolling up, nice and tall. Whoop, turning over, and repeat. Start bringing some focus to that breath. Focusing on that inhale and exhale. Try to breathe through the nose, out the mouth. Just becoming a bit more mindful so we can control that breath through this workout. I don't know if I said this out loud, but we're hitting 5 of these. Whew. Hello, hamstrings. Good. On this next one, so on our 5th one, we're going to stay in that plank position. We're gonna hit downward dog toe taps. So opposite hand, opposite foot, tapping for 5 each side. Good. Once you get 5, bring that left leg forward. We're gonna keep that back leg up. Right hand is gonna stabilize here for us. We're gonna bring same side elbow to the inseam of that foot, or as close as we can get. And let's open up. We're gonna stay right here. And let's hit 3 of these openers. Follow that hand with your eyes. Good. Once you hit 3, let's drop that back knee. And we are gonna rock out these hips. So nice and tall, get a good stretch in that hip flexor in the front. We can even give that hamstring a little extra love on the back. We're gonna hit 4 of each. Still being mindful of that breath, taking it off autopilot into manual. We're gonna hit 3 rotations, so hands on the opposite side of my knee. Following that hand with my eyes, opening for 3. Back to the mat, quadruped, straighten out that left leg. Right leg is now coming forward. We're gonna hit opposite, or same side, sorry. Elbow to that inseam, open up. Follow that hand with your eyes for 3. Beautiful. Once you get 3, drop that back knee. Don't lose your balance. And let's rock out those hips. Rocking out for 4. Beautiful. Opposite hand outside of that knee. Opening for 3. See, it's that time of year. Oh, it's only 73 outside. Where I can finally keep my windows open, but once it hits like 4 o'clock, it gets real toasty in here for an hour. We're gonna hit quadruped, so tabletop position, making sure everything's stacked nicely, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and let's hit that cat-cow. So we're gonna get a nice deep breath in, arch that back, look up to the ceiling, and then as you exhale, moving into that cat, really rounding that back, feeling a good stretch in those scapulas, wings, shoulders, whatever you wanna call them. And let's do that for 4 breaths. So as we inhale, we go into our cow, breathing in nice and full through the nose. And as we exhale into that cat, nice good stretch and let out all that air. And you know me, I'm already sick of this ponytail in my face. Gonna have to get it into a bun. Good, let's make our way to the mat. We're gonna do staggered stance on our feet here. If you need to overlap due to mobility, no problem at all. But let's glue those feet into the ground, and we're gonna move those knees around those feet. You can stabilize yourself by using your hands behind you for a little extra support. See if you can't challenge yourself and keep those hands up off the mat. Good. Oiling up those hips, what I call it. Good, and let's bring it into some hip extension. Activate those hips, little extra glute activation as well. And this is just a little extra credit. If this feels like a little bit too much for you, by all means, don't add in a little bit of extra sauce. I'm so happy. Right before class, I was finishing up some laundry and I forgot I bought the wallflowers, the scent wallflowers this weekend. And I just replaced them all. So now my house, it's called football season is the scent. And now my house smells like fall. And it's just really boosted my mood for this workout today. All right, I'm gonna scoot just a little bit forward. You can still see me, beautiful. See if I can give myself more space today. We're gonna hit these 90-90 openers. So coming onto our side, knees are at a 90-degree angle, hands are together in front of us. We're going to keep these knees pinned to the ground. Let's open up that hand, try to get it all the way, hitting the ground, shoulder on the ground as well, while keeping these knees pinned. If these knees start coming up, it means we're not in our range of motion. If we want to make this a little bit more challenging, we can extend that bottom leg, glue that top knee down, and it'll make it a little bit harder for you. We're going to hit 4 of this. 4 each side. So I got my 4 here, and I'm going to switch sides. Beautiful. So remember, guys, we are in our strength and power block. So this means it's going to be a little bit higher impact. Now, if you have impact issues, no big deal. You can do the modification, and I'd add maybe 1 or 2 more reps just to keep that intensity higher. The problem, like I've been saying with strength, is we don't have the ability to get super high intensity in terms of weight at home. So we're going to definitely focus more on the power, the execution of movements, and how quickly we move. So let's get these glutes activated. We're going to make sure that we can touch those heels, they're shoulder width apart. We're tucking in those ribs like we're trying to pull it to our hips, closing that back between, closing that gap between our back and the mat. And we're going to shoot those hips up for 10. Nice and controlled, really squeezing those glutes at the top, trying to get some blood flow. Activating, I'm saying, hello, I've been sitting on you all day, but now it's time for you to work. I'm so happy it's finally football season. I love a good Sunday watching football. Unfortunately, I am a Bears fan, so I don't want to hear anything in the chat, but I know someone's got to rep them, you know. I'm a hometown supporter, Chicago teams through and through, but unfortunately that means I am a Bears fan. But I guess the caveat to that is I'm actually a White Sox fan and not a Cubs fan, so I'm quite literally the black sheep of my family because everyone else is Cubs fan, and then my immediate family were the only ones that are White Sox fans. All right, I also want to do just a little bit here. Let's just get in a little bit of shuffle step. We're going to definitely be using these legs today. So just a nice little extra oomph for these glutes because we're going to be firing them up on these RDLs here in a second, challenging that balance as well. Just get 1 more of each. Beautiful. All right, let's hit this neural activation. Here comes the frog. And we are going to start on our tiptoes, hands up tall. Coach is going to say go. We're going to hit that drop squat. Coach is going to say go. We're going to hit a 2-inch sprint. And then we're going to take off left or right. So if coach says left, driving to the left and freeze. So we're working on that balance and stability. If coach says right, driving to the right and freeze. Really doesn't matter which leg goes up. If I'm driving right, usually it's my left leg going up because I'm using that to rotate. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Let's get to it. Go. Go. Left. Woo. There we are. Ready, set. Go. Go. Left. Beautiful. Reset. Go. Go. Right. Woo. Hello, balance. Where are you at? Reset. Go. Go. Left. Good. All right, last one. Reset. Excuse me. Go. Go. Right. Beautiful. All right. Warmed up, ready to go. We are starting with single leg RDLs today. Grab that band or grab those dumbbells. And remember, we're in strength and power. So I'm going to keep a weight that's pretty challenging, but doable. We're going to do 8 each side. But instead of our normal RDL, so if you're using dumbbells, they're staying close to the leg. It's either 1 in the opposite hand, 2, we're keeping our knuckles attached no matter what, or you have a band like me that we're anchoring to the ground. So we're going to hit that single leg RDL with a knee drive. So every time you come up, it's going to really challenge that balance as well. We're driving that knee nice and quick on that execution. Remember, we want to inhale on this reset, Exhale on that execution. Now, if we have balance issues today, we can do the same thing with the kickstand, staggered stance. So we could do staggered stance here, using this back foot as a kickstand and still driving up. So same thing with that neural activation. We want to make sure we're staying stable and getting ourselves frozen, nice and still before finishing off that movement. You're hitting 8 and you're switching sides. I'll be honest, I wasn't counting on that one, but I showed a few different ways. So I'm just gonna switch on over to the next side. Moving nice and quick on that execution. Make sure those shoulder blades are squeezed together. Back is staying straight. Core is engaged. But this is definitely of the blocks between foundation, hypertrophy, whoop, and strength and power. Ooh, goodness gracious, coach. Where are you at? Kickstand, hello. Know your limits. Between those 3 blocks, this is definitely the most difficult. Next, we're gonna hit push-ups. So same thing here. You might need to change your adjustments on your modification because we wanna move powerful and quickly on the execution. So that could look like Tina moving out of our way. Thank you, girl, so sweet. That could look like a real push-up where we're keeping a nice plank, keeping that back straight, keeping those glutes where they need to be, and shooting up. Now you see, coach is pretty weak. I could not be powerful on those push-ups. You're hitting 10, so we could even come here, moving nice and strong. I still know I can't engage enough power for that, so I'm gonna go here on my knees. Now, for men, this might be a little bit easier. For us women, chest strength is not our forte. It's going to be a little bit more challenging for us. Once you get your 10 done, catch your breath because I know it's hard. And then we're going to go into either stability or mobility, your choice. We're either hitting plank pull-throughs, 5 each side, 10 total, or you're coming down tabletop, 5 each side, 10 total on these bird dogs. Opposite ligaments stretching out. Now on this plank pull-through, you could either use a dumbbell, kettlebell. If you're like me and don't have one, just body weight through that movement. Once you're done, grab some water, and we will go into the second round of our first circuit. Yes, heart rate should be a little bit higher with this. Like I said, on the power movements, it might not seem as challenging as we're going through it, but that EPOC, that exercise, or that excess post-oxygen consumption, you're huffing and puffing after the work or after the movement, that's where you're going to see it's really tiring us. Sorry, there's like a cute, tiny little dog just staring right up into our window. Teasing Tina. Excuse me, girl. Thank you, lady. Go over to that window. You can go talk to her over there. We're hitting 8 each side. Hitting that knee drive. Ooh. Now remember, this one's also, hello, there we go, really challenging that balance. So if you need to do a few and then move it into that kickstand, by all means, know your limits. There we go. So much harder to do when talking. I promise my balance is better than it looks. I know. I'm sorry, girl. We'll go for a walk after class as always. Anytime Tina sees dogs outside, she looks at me and she's like, why am I not outside? And make sure you're not letting that weight pull you forward. Keep those shoulder blades squeezed so you're not rounding your back there at the top. Once you get your 8 each side, coming down for 10 push-ups. Now, if you're somebody as well, I didn't say this on the last one, you're hitting 10. What I did last week, if those push-ups, even on your knees, you're like, coach, these are still too hard for me to move quickly, we could do a band or dumbbells and just do this floor press. Really quick on that execution, slow on that reset. So same with those push-ups. You want to try to go back down very slowly, push up very quickly. Finish off with a couple of these. So on the camera, might not look like I'm moving quickly, but I promise you I'm trying. All right, hitting those bird dogs or those plank pull-throughs, 10 total of each, 5 each side. Forward, so I stop kicking my table. Beautiful. Grab some water. And we are going to hit this last round of our first circuit. There we go, much better. All right. How we doing? How we feeling? Let's see. Good. Yep, heart rate's getting up there. Amazing. All right, we're feeling good. We're looking pretty. We're on our last round, adjusting that weight, so we should be knowing what modification we should be at. And let's crash through this final round. Empty the tank if you'd like. So since it's our last time doing it, we're still using these muscles in the next circuit, but you can, what I say, empty the tank, go a little bit more intense on the last one before we clean our hands of it. Beautiful. I'm dealing with a bit of a hamstring injury right now. So my flexibility is not where it normally is, but I'm just adjusting, working in my range of motion, and powering through safe and responsibly. Ooh, I felt that one just fail. Beautiful. All right, finishing off. Push-ups or floor press, going for 10. Slow on the reset, nice and quick on that execution. And I want, same thing with those push-ups. I always say we want to bring in those elbows a bit on the floor press. I don't want that push-up position all the way out. I want those elbows to be tucked in close to the body. More of what they say is a tricep push-up. Keep them close so we're not over extending and putting more pressure on our shoulders than we need to. Shoulder issues are probably one of the most prevalent things that I deal with as a coach with clients, that and back pain. So make sure you're taking care of them, giving them the love that they need, and being nice to them if they need you to be nice to them. All right, finishing off, plank pull-throughs, bird dogs, 10 each, 5 each side. Choosing your complementary as you see fit. Beautiful. All right. Washing our hands of that first one. We're going to sneak into the second round now. As I'm talking, I can just feel my entire body drying out. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. All righty. We are going to stay on the ground for this first low pull, or this first exercise in the circuit, our second low pull. We're going to hit these single leg glute bridges. And same thing here, we want to move very powerful on the execution, nice and slow on that reset. So I'm going to make sure I can touch that heel. It's right about with my shoulder. I'm closing that gap between my back and the mat. And I'm going to shoot up really quick, come down nice and slow. We're going to hit 8 of these on each side. Now to make this more intense, you could hold a weight or a dumbbell or something on your waist to just add a little bit of resistance. You could also, if you have a stability ball, put your foot up on the stability ball, hit the bridge that way. It's going to make it a little bit harder. And if you're on the opposite side of the spectrum and the single leg's a little bit too intense for you, you could just go down into double leg, nice and intense, slow on that reset. Very powerful through that execution. 16 total, 8 each side. Good. All right. Just in the fun of switching it up, because I know we did overhead press on Friday, we're going to hit some lateral raises for our shoulders right now too. So either have a dumbbell or you're going to do a band anchored by the foot. And we're going to be about 45 degrees here as well. So I'm not fully extending to the side. I'm bringing it in a bit. And we're going to come right up, nice and powerful, very slow on that on that reset. And we are hitting 6 each side. My palm is facing down. I have a slight bend in my elbow, but my arm is staying stagnant through the whole motion. Working that outside of our shoulder, that shoulder cuff, if you will. Good. Switching sides. Remember to try to control your breath through the movement. Manipulate the workout to be efficient for you. Good. Very powerful on that execution. Nice and slow on the reset. And I'm only going to right about my shoulder. I'm not going high and overextending. I'm keeping it right in that sweet spot. And I'm also making sure my wrist is staying in line with my arm. I'm not allowing my wrist to sag or pull down. All right. Let's hit this anti-rotational. We're going to do some pillar to plank, hitting a lot of core, and let's just give a little extra love to our chest. So we're going to get into our plank position. We're going to go down for 1, to our forearms, up for 2, and we're going to hit that for 10. Beautiful. Grab some water. Ooh, see, power through it, and then once you sit there for a second is when you're like, oh, there it is. There's the exhaustion setting in. But it's good because we're going to stay on the ground going into the second round of glute bridges. Adjusting weight or modifying how we need to. Going for 8 each side. Nice and powerful. Slow on that reset. Good. Make sure you're controlling that breath. Exhale on that execution. Inhale on that reset. Oh, and by the end of it, your glutes and your hamstrings are probably burning. Good. Make sure you're not letting those ribs flare. We're not really pushing up with our chest. We're making sure from our shoulder to our knee is staying nice and as straight as possible. Once you hit your 8 each side, going into 6 each side of these lateral raises. Beautiful. Switch it over. Good. Making sure that core is still engaged, that back is still staying neutral. And as you see when I'm doing this movement, it's only my arm. I'm not bouncing like this and using that momentum. I'm making sure my shoulder is the one doing all of the work. All right, round 2, pillar to plank, 10 of them. Doing our best to keep our hips stable and not swaying and opening up. We want to keep everything nice and straight. Whew. All right. You guys still with me? You still doing okay? We got one more. And then we got green zone ESD. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Not the easiest, not the most difficult, that beautiful sweet spot right in between. We'll do probably 12 minutes. We'll see how much time we have. You know, coach likes to sneak in extra rounds if she can. Because without you guys know me, I am not a cardio girl. So without you, I might just skip it. So need you guys to keep me accountable. 8 each side for the last time. We're feeling good. We're looking pretty. Powering through, emptying the tank if you see fit, because we only have cardio after this. Still work. Last one on this leg. Beautiful. Switching sides. Now, just to leave you with information, so keep finishing that last side. If you wanted to make this a little bit more challenging, you could do an elevated surface and make this more of a hip thrust than a glute bridge. So shoulder blades into that surface as I'm using a chair. You could put a weight on your hips if you'd like. And we can still do the same thing, chin tucked, hello, and shooting those hips up, single leg as well. So just as some food for thought as you continue working on when these classes are over. A lot of different ways we can modify. Reach out if you'd like more information so I can make sure you're set up for success before we are done, unfortunately. All right, finishing up these shoulders, 6 each side. Quick on the execution, slow on that reset. And with that being said, if you're somebody who really enjoys these live virtual classes or really enjoys anything else that the IVP had to offer with us Exos coaches, please reach out to me. I want to make sure you guys still have the resources going forward available to you in terms of information and everything else I can give you before we part ways, unfortunately. But with that being said, I want to make sure you guys are set up for success. So do not hesitate to reach out if these classes and the other things we had to offer are something you enjoy and you want to find resources to offerings like that in the future. Good. Almost done with this. Whew, that was a weird one. So I'm finishing off on a good one. Beautiful. All right, clean your hands of that. We got these pillar to planks. We'll get 2 minutes of rest. Then we'll go into our ESD for the day. All right, let's knock these out. Now, if you're somebody like me who could be better with their strength and their push-up, these pillar to planks are a great in between of a core and shoulder strength development kind of movement. So I'll throw in pillar to planks. Another thing that I've been meaning to do that I need to start adding is I was like, I need to do 10 push-ups a day. So if you have one of those movements that you feel like is very underdeveloped, you want to get better at, you want to get stronger at, even if it's at home and you're just going through the mind-muscle connection body weight, 10 a day. Just hit 10 of them. End of the day, as you keep doing that, I promise form's going to get better, strength's going to get up there, and your confidence will go through the roof once you remember when you were doing 10 push-ups and you could barely finish them to now I can do 10 push-ups with a breeze. Now I'm not there yet, but I'm going to start, I promise. Grab that water. We have green zone, as I said. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Here are the movements for today. we have a jumping jack that we love, right? After that jumping jack, we are gonna do our 2-inch jog. So a little bit more. So when we do yellow zone, we do more of a march. Here we're at a jog, and you can speed that up, slow that down as you see fit, finishing off with a pretty good intensity skater. So remember, with any of these, we can take away that impact. If we have shoulder issues, we can turn this into our punch jack, or we can have a full jumping jack, step out, even make it a little bit more of a less impact. Same with the jogger. You don't have to fully bounce. You could go a little bit slower, keep one foot on the ground at all times. And that skater, we could slow down if we need to, or we could even make it more intense, add a little pep to our step. Are we ready to rumble? Coach, are you ready to rumble? Get out of breath when I explain things. Goodness gracious. All right. We are going to do 4 rounds. Let's see if we can get through 4. We're going to get started with those jumping jacks in 3, 2, 1. And let's get going. 30 seconds. Remember, if you feel like it starts getting a little bit too hard, nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and see if you can't just slow that intensity just a bit. If you're somebody who's really great at this cardio stuff and you want to increase that intensity, by all means, crank it up. But we are resting in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Like that one. I probably could have went a little bit more intense, a little bit quicker. But that's okay. Sorry, my stopwatch has a glare over there. Beautiful. First round is a good time to see where we're at with that intensity. I'm sitting at 132 beats per minute right now. And we're jogging in 3, 2, 1. Push it out. So not a full sprint, but I'm still moving with a purpose. Halfway there, I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. See if I can't increase that heart rate a bit. And we are resting in 3, 2, 1, and rest. I'm not going to jinx it, but Tina just slept through this whole class. Didn't come over here and bother me not one single time. And that is a win in my books for all of you that have seen her attack me during some workouts where attack me with kisses to the point where I can't even do it. All right, we're skating in 3, 2, 1. Let's push it out. Now remember, with your arms, we rated lateral raises. So if you really want to burn them out, you can mimic that lateral raise. We could even do more of like a seated row kind of situation. Or really anything you want to do with your arms. I don't know why this reminds me of like dancing. But get that intensity up however you need to. We're resting in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Beautiful. I'm at about 140 for my heart rate. And I'm 26. So anywhere between 120 to 150, I'd say is that sweet spot for anybody tracking their heart rate, making sure you're in the right zone. With that being said, we are back in our jumping jacks in 3, 2, 1, and let's push it out. You know, one thing I'll never do is learn how to talk correctly, apparently. I'm always making my mouth try to keep up with my brain, and it doesn't always work. Halfway there, keep pushing. Speed it up if we need to. Arms start getting tired, feel free to move into those punch jacks instead. Regardless, we are done in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Yep, staying right about 140 to 143. It's a good sweet spot for me. How we doing? How we feeling? heart rate check, where we at? We got our jog in 8 seconds. Good, going in 3, 2, 1, and push it out. If you want to make this more intense with the jog, you could bring up those knees, do more of a high knee situation. It's definitely going to increase that impact, so just be mindful of that. Halfway. Good work, keep pushing. So you see I got just a little bit of a knee drive, but I'm not worried about getting my knee all the way up. We're resting in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo! We got it, we're getting there. We got skaters next. Shout out to everybody for coming today, setting your Monday off with good intentions. The last 3 classes. So friendly reminder that Wednesday and Friday is the end of our classes, unfortunately. We're skating in 3, 2, 1. Let's push it out. My classes have now, a bunch of them have been uploaded to our YouTube page. So if this class specifically is one you enjoyed, there's going to be on-demand type options for you via YouTube. You can still come on in, get a good workout in with me. It just won't be live. We're resting in 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right. About 2 more rounds, and then we are done. I think I can squeeze 2 more in. We'll see. Back to that jumping jack in 10 seconds. My heart rate's slowly starting to creep up. All right, we're jumping in 3, 2, 1. Push it out. Last 2 rounds, which means final 6 minutes, which is really only 3 minutes of movement. Make it count. Feel free to crank it up a little bit if you want, as long as you're still able to sustain in 30 and then recover in the next 30. Good, we rest in 3, 2, 1, and rest. Yeah, I'll make sure by the time we're done with classes that I give you guys that link for everything so that you can see where all those on-demand classes are. Clint told me last week he uploaded a bunch of my classes, so there should be a bunch. I'll make sure you guys have the link for it. We are jogging in 3, 2, 1. Push it out. Obviously, I'm biased towards Total Body Challenge, but the beauty of this class is you get a little bit of everything. Your warm-up's got a lot of correctives. You got strength blocks, so you're doing good things for your muscle. And then we're always ending the class with 10 to 15 minutes of cardio. So it's that full encompassing 50 minutes, which is what I think makes it so great. We're resting in 3, 2, 1, and rest. So not to say that breath work, all those other things are not important. Yoga, Pilates, switch it up, get some novelty in those classes. Our YouTube page has a bunch of people's classes on it, I believe. So feel free to check some other ones out on your own time. We are skating in 3, 2, 1, and let's push it out. And then, as I said, feel free to reach out to me for any additional resources that aren't on YouTube so that you guys still have the tools to be successful when this class sadly ends. Good work. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. One more round. We got this. Final 3 minutes. How we doing? How we feeling? I'm at back down. Oh, just kidding. 145. Like I said, I'm starting to creep up to about the 150s as I'm getting tired, but totally normal. It means I'm working in the right zone. All right, last round of everything, guys. We are jumping in 3, 2, 1, and let's push it out. It's the last 3 minutes. So crank it up if you want. Get the most out of it. Shoulders start getting tired. Feel free to punch. Or maybe you're like, Coach, I'm barely hanging on. Totally fine. Feel free to modify whichever way you see fit. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All the modifications, right? Something for everyone. All right, 1 down. 2 to go. Coach is getting tired. Just kidding. No, I am getting tired though. But we're almost there. We got jog 5 seconds. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Push it out. Speed it up just a little bit on this last one. I'm really trying to empty my tank. More of a running speed right between that jog and the sprint. 10 seconds. Keep pushing. You can do hard things. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. All right, we're finishing up with these skaters. And then that is a job well done, ladies and gentlemen. All right. 15 seconds, then 30 seconds, and then we are finito. Done for the day. We'll get a little cool down in, and we can pat ourselves on the back for getting 1% better today. All right, finishing up. Skaters in 3, 2, 1. Push it out. Like I said, I'm cranking it up on this last round to empty the tank, but you are free to work at whatever speed makes sense for you for this 30 seconds. With that being said, 20 down, 10 to go. 3, 2, 1, and we are done. All right. Coach is ending right at a 147. Let's check in 2 minutes, see where that heart rate is at. Ooh, let in that air. A round of applause for all of you for making it through. Catch that breath. Nice deep breath into the nose, out through the mouth. Walk it out. Grab that water. Got about 60 seconds. And then you will meet me on the floor. Oh, emptying my tank. Oh, really wore me out right there. All right, let's do a nice little bent hamstring stretch. So I'm going to extend my left leg. Right leg, I'm going to interlock my fingers right below my knee. I'm going to extend, hold for about, let's do a 10 count. Nice long hold today. As you exhale, see if you can't pull that leg a little bit further towards you. You should feel a nice deep stretch through the back of your thigh. And rest. Reset. We're doing 3 sets of 10 seconds. Oh, the sky's nice and blue. This morning when Tina and I went for our first walk of the day, it was very gloomy and cloudy. It looked like it was about to rain. So very refreshing to see a nice blue sky. Good. Last one on this leg. See, this is where Tina's normally attacking me, so she's just real tired from playing earlier. Still focus on those breaths, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Being a little more intentional.
just woke up. Her bed is right next to where I put you guys on my computer, so normally just staring at me through class. Good. Here's our last one.
Beautiful. Let's make our way to our sides. We started with the 90-90 openers. We're going to end with the 90-90 sweep. So same setup with that 90-90 opener from the beginning, except now we're going to sweep that hand over our head, back into our back pocket, trying to keep that hand in contact with the ground at all times while still gluing those knees to the mat. We're going to do 3 on each side. Follow that hand with your eyes if you can. Helps work out that neck as well. I think I already did 3, but whenever you forget, for good measure, hit 1 more. All right, I was at 147, 2 minutes in. I'm at 85. That's probably one of the best recoveries I've seen yet in this class, so that's awesome. Being intentional with that breath, taking advantage of that epoch. So breathing in fully through the nose, letting it all out through the mouth. And coach again has this horrible habit of not knowing how to count. So I don't know if that was 3 or 4, but finishing off strong. All right, and let's hit a couple box breaths to finish off class today. So we are going to get into our child's pose. We're going to do box breaths, which means we're going to inhale for a 4 count, hold for a 4 count, exhale for a 4 count, hold for a 4 count. This really helps de-stress. It's also going to help us down regulate. So as we get into rest and digest, I know I eat dinner pretty much right after this class. I take a shower, eat dinner. So maybe you guys are getting to that time in your day, that wind down time. So this is a perfect time for box breathing, hitting this child's pose. And let's inhale starting now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, inhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. One more. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all she wrote today. Thank you so much for coming. As I said, my final 2 classes are Wednesday, Friday, same time, same place. I'll make sure you guys have the link in the chat, our group chat on Teams. If you're not in that chat and you'd like that link, please reach out to me and I'm happy to give it to you as well. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Have some good intentions and I will, oh, amazing. Thank you. I'll share this in the chat as well so you guys can go back to it. But have a great week. Eat some good food. Touch some grass. My hair is looking crazy. And I will catch you guys all hopefully on Wednesday. We'll finish this week off with a bang till the end. So, yep, have a great week, everyone. Reach out if you need anything or if you want to just be able to stay in contact with me. Make sure I have your information and I will catch you guys on Wednesday. Yes, she's so excited for this walk and it's like beautiful weather. So her favorite thing is when we go outside and throw the BALL. So we're going to go do that now and I will catch you guys next time. Toodaloo.